Have you ever heard these words? I'm sorry. I know I disappointed you. They are so deep. They feel, especially if someone has wronged you and they say such words, especially if spoken sincerely, they carry more power than you and me realize. They're not just an apology, but they are about emotional maturity, self-awareness as an individual saying that. And also the main reason as why they're doing that is because they want to reconnect again and nurture that relationship. So today's episode, we are going to focus on the secret sauce for emotional maturity, or the secret sauce for emotional and physical wellness. Words we say, how we feel, okay, usually come out deeper if we connect emotion to it. I know consciously or subconsciously you do not realize the words you say have a connection to emotion, but the person listening to you can tell if you meant those words sincerely. Now, if you truly want peace within yourself and others, you learn this rare and transformative gift of knowing that you hurt someone and trying to make it up to them. So the first step, the first foundation is on building an emotional intelligent relationship within yourself. So the secret sauce to emotional and physical wellness is to start to have good intentions, that you mean well in this relationship. You want to make this relationship work, and that comes from understanding yourself. So let me lay the foundation of what emotions are, their connection to the body and their health as the first phase. Then I tell you what the secret sauce is. Okay. Now, emotions are vast. They are huge. I'm not going into each emotion. In the coming episodes in the future, we'll definitely look at those. And to just reduce human feelings to two emotions that we mostly interact with, sadness and happiness, does not show the intricate nature of the various types of emotions that we have. Because deeply, and what makes us human are emotions. Because without doing something and without taking a step, you feel fast. If you see someone you've not seen for a while, there's something that happens in your body as you run towards them to just hug them and tell them that you miss them so much. If you see someone you love that you've not seen the whole day and you see them in the evening, there's a good feeling you have. And when you miss someone, to try to call, send them a chat, a video, there's something that happens. And at those moments that make us human, heartbreaks, joys, regrets, triumphs, they're all emotional perceptions on how we feel. And that is why emotional intelligence is mostly spoken about as a soft skill. And emotions, or being aware of them, is a way in which you can comfortably manage your life, both at work and in real life, at home, in your family, as you interact with others. For they are the fabric on how we engage with the world. So what many of us overlook is that we do not know that our emotional state affects our well-being. And I'm going to give an example. If you're listening to me and you had a heartbreak, you know how horrible you feel, your chest hurts, you feel like you're sick, you feel like life is not worth living in. So no one has hit you, you've not been involved in an accident, but your whole body hurts because of heartbreak. So emotions affect our well-being. So another example could be, think of when you're anxious, your heart races very, very fast. Sometimes your eyes become red, you start sweating. Okay, if you're overwhelmed, you start feeling like you're heavy, you can't move, you get still. So all these feelings are metaphors for our well-being and our emotional imbalance. So the first thing on why emotions are important is because they are the blueprint for our human experience and how we experience the world around us. Another thing is that there is a body and emotional connection, because our feelings affect our health. So mind and body are highly connected. Experts in this industry or in this field will tell you that our mind and how our body reacts, even them can't explain. That's why we have like a placebo effect, where we know, or sometimes the body heals itself by the mind thinking it's been given the right medicine. So emotions, if you are emotionally drained, your body follows suit. Okay, when you're triggered or stressed, your immune systems take a hit. That is why you start having things like a flu, cold, fatigue, kind of indigestion sometimes, or insomnia. In fact, insomnia is the biggest. Why? Because how we feel. Because our body is a messenger on how we feel from our mind. So if you're tired, if you're tense, you're irritable, maybe maybe the reason as to why your body is scrambling could be your emotions. Now, here is the part that many of us miss, that you can heal your body without first tending to your emotional landscape. It's a skill that we'll cover at some point in future, but I thought I should put that up and the other way around. So, how do we manage emotions? What can we do? There are two great ways in which to do that, and I've lumped them into two big things. Within each lump, there are things that you can do. So, lump one or core one is awareness. Okay? So, we often think managing emotions means you suppressing them. Actually, the opposite. The true emotional health comes from not bottling up your emotions, but from learning to observe, understand, and respond to them. Keyword, with grace. So learning and understanding that we're feeling something, but responding to it with grace. Emotions and feelings are companions, and constantly feeling against each other. And until you understand this dynamic, they'll keep running your life. So what is the secret sauce of separating these two? You need to disrupt that automatic loop, stimulus and response. And to do that, you need to create a space between how you feel and how you react. So the bigger lump, the bigger chunk of one way in which you can manage is to learn to create space. You create space by being aware of what that emotion is. So space, okay, and how do you do that? You notice what you are feeling. So the only way to create space first, you must be aware that you're feeling something. Then name it. Then explore to know how, why, and how you were able to be triggered. Then you pace to create a conscious step that you're going to take, a conscious next move that you're going to take. And that is how emotional maturity is done. Not through denial, but through awareness. Space. So if there's one thing I wanted to pick out from this junk of the core thing you can do to manage, or the secret sauce to manage your emotions, is space. So be aware. Therefore, you create space on how you react. Number two is reduce the emotional life cycle. So, and you can remember one way is you've created that space. So how you react to that is the life cycle. So manage the life cycle. And how do you do that? Every emotion has a life cycle. The key to wellness is learning how to shorten that time between an emotion trigger and a healthy resolution. So the closer that space you've created above gets closer, the better you are. And that is the second chunk of how you can manage this emotion. So how do you do that? How do you reduce that space you created in your awareness junk up there? Is notice the emotion as it arises. Just know that, oh, the trigger is coming. Okay, name it. So a good example is, could it be fear I'm feeling now? Is it envy I'm feeling now? Shame, frustration, any emotion. There are hundreds and hundreds of emotions that exist. So be aware, where am I feeling like this? Especially if it's envy. Where is it coming from? Okay, track it. What triggered it? Understand it is the next thing that you're going to do. How are you going? What is the pattern in your life that's triggering that? Okay, then you respond. Not react, you respond. Response in this case is aligning with who you want to be. Okay, so the bigger chunk is notice, name it, track it, understand it, and then respond. By responding, you're not reacting to that emotion, but you are aligning yourself to who you want to be. So, junk one is to be aware. To be aware is to have space. Space to feel, to name it, to explore, and to move to the next step. Step two is to reduce that cycle by noticing, naming, tracking, understanding. But the big junk is to respond. Responding is not reacting, but rather you are aligning to what you want to be. So you cannot control your first emotions reaction, but you can absolutely know how to shape the second one. Okay, so reduce that time. So what is the next step? What are you going to do? Having understood these big things, is that to understand that emotional responsibility is a personal power. Just think of anyone you really look up to. People, especially in leadership, who you really look up to. Most of them, you notice, they're very good at managing their emotions. They are stoic in essence. So you have to stop letting your emotions ruin your peace and work towards personal responsibility. So personal responsibility is to know that that is me reacting. I'm aware. Okay, it's not your partner, it's not your wife, husband, it's not your boss, it's not the society around you. It is you as an individual. And because once you own your feeling, then you can manage them. Once you manage them, you can lead yourself. And when you can lead yourself, everything in your life, your health, your career, your relationships, you notice they start becoming transformed around what you want to do. So don't fear them, study them, okay? Let them teach you, let them stretch you to be a wiser, calmer, and a more aware person. So that is your next step 1. Next step 2 is a new way on which you're going to live. When you're becoming aware of your patterns, now begin to notice how you react to all of them and how they shape your relationship. So you're going now outside you to the environment in which you live. So you realize how much damage they have caused and try to repair that. And that's why such words like I used at the start of the video, like I know, I'm sorry, and I'm responsible for doing this. Okay? So cut all those habits that keep you locked in that environment of emotion. Apologize when you need to. Reframe how you express what you feel and learn to speak from self-awareness, not self-righteousness. Okay? This is how you escape. This is how you get better. Okay? 4 things: cut the habits, apologize when you need to, reframe how you feel, and learn to speak from self-awareness, not self-righteousness. So in conclusion, go out there, just understand that the quality of your life is determined not by what happens to you, but how you process, carry, and release what is happening. Okay, breathe easier, relate better, love deeper, therefore get better, faster to your goals on which you want to live. So to live your whole life on this earth, live a whole life, treating all emotions as just interruptions and being aware as if it's data that you're being given. Okay. Just if there's one thing I want you to carry out of this video today, of this episode, just know that you need to approach how you feel as data, okay? Because if you're unhappy, your emotions know why. So ask yourself, why do I feel unhappy at this moment? If you're not feeling well, just know how were you able to get to where you are. If your relationship is strained, especially that, they can show where you went wrong. Remember, you as an individual, take it as data, pause, listen, and learn. So because your relationship, your life, your work, okay, are how you interact with the world. So approach your life in such a way that for me to get better, I need to collect this data and create a map on how I'm going to get better. Okay, and that map will determine how your life turns out. So if there's one thing or 2 things I want you to carry away from today's video, is that emotional mastery is about awareness. And awareness is about creating space, okay? Then managing that space to be less and less. The space here I'm talking about is about how you feel and how you react. Reducing that space less and less is about reducing the emotional life cycle. And that comes from noticing, naming it, tracking, understanding it. But the main one is how you respond. And response here is not how you react, but how aligned you are to the person you want to be. That is my biggest takeaway. I hope you were able to get the secret sauce to emotional well-being and therefore physical well-being. That comes to 2 things: awareness and reducing the life cycle and how you react to that. All the best.